जय हिंद, वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग, आदाब, नमस्कार सभी लोगों को। सबसे पहले आई वुड लाइक टू वेलकम की नोट स्पीकर ऑफ द डे मंजरी प्रभु जी टू बी विद अस टुडे मॉर्निंग अर्ली 8:30. So thank you very much. I would also like to welcome all participants who have joined today morning. Uh, this is quite interesting. Today we are going to have a lot of interesting program, and we are live on Facebook also. So today I do not have much for announcement. I would like to directly invite Rotarian Sanjay Merchant, because Prerna is not today to do the honor of secretary announcements. So over to Sanjay Merchant.
Yeah, thank you, Karna sir. And good morning, everyone. Only thing is, we have birthdays. One is Prerna's birthday itself on the 9th of February. And 10th of February, we have Parul Vaish's birthday.
So
That's all, Karna sir.
thank you very much. Uh, Now, not taking much time, I would like to invite Rotarian Rohit Jirazani to formally welcome all participants and keynote speaker and introduce the speaker of the day. So over to Rohit Jirazani. Unmute yourself, Rohit. Unmute yourself. Yeah, you are unmuted. You speak. Go ahead, please.
Rohit, we can't hear you, Rohit.
Rohit, we can't hear you.
Increase the volume. The mic is, I told you before also, your mic is, we can't hear you. आपके फोन से बरोबर था पहले. No, we can't hear you at all.
Rohit, we can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Go ahead.
fine. Manjari, welcome back to बंद करो ऐसे आवाज. To a third innings with Riverside. She has been here before. Manjari Prabhu. She has been here as a speaker before. She is the organizer of Pune International Literary Festival and ICLS. She has written 17 books till now. This is the latest book. Is just being released today. Welcome to the club, Manjari. Manjari, can you tell us something about your books? Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Kanal Mishra, and who else invited me? Where did he go? Anyway, thank you everyone for having me here today. It's such a pleasure. It's the third time, and I really feel privileged. Thank you, Rohit. And yes, I'm here because my 17th book has come out, and it's my 17th book, but my second children's book, and my first book for all ages. So I'm going to show you the book. This is the book. It's got a beautiful cover. It's called The Adventures of Mittu. Okay, it looks like a children's book, but it's targeted at children, but there's lots within the covers. So basically, I don't know how many of you believe in magic. I mean, do you believe in magic? I'm sure at some point in your lives you must have, had something magical happening in your life. So the book is about a kitten called Mittu, and she lives in a place called Omland, which is something like heaven, where everything is peaceful and beautiful, and there's a permanent rainbow in the sky, and the clouds have come down, fluorescent clouds which are gleaming and all that. And Mittu lives there in tries to live in harmony, but he's got very mischievous traits in him. So he's like constantly hurting others or disrupting others and all. And that is why he's banished to the land of humans, which is Manaspuri, so that he can counter his every bad deed with a good deed. And then, of course, it's his tale. And Mithu is devastated because he doesn't want to go to Manaspuri because he knows it's not a nice world and there are humans there. And imagine doing good deeds for human beings who are so ungrateful. So the book is a little bit about how Mithu counters his every bad deed with a good deed. And well, that's his journey now. Yes, so that's about my latest book.
Heartiest congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, for opening
you
the
very
book
much.
on the Rotary Club Pune Riverside. So it's a pleasure for us also. So
Yes,
thank
yes.
you very much. Thank you.
This is my first public event for this book, so I'm feeling very, very
Please
grateful
give
for that.
put your hand together and give big round of
You-
applause to Manjari ji, Dr. Manjari ji.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Manjari,
Yes.
you're right. Is the children book writing interest you more because in the past you have written thrillers,
Yes.
or the children books like you like more?
No, so actually, well, of course, I have to give you a little bit of my background. I grew up reading Enid Blyton books. Like most of us, in our childhood, we were introduced to, in convent school especially, we were introduced to Enid Blyton and then, other similar English authors. And when I read Enid Blyton books, I realized, and I was so impacted with them, I was so affected by them, that I realized I wanted to be a writer. So that was my first initiation into writing. And so Enid Blyton is a kind of my spirit mentor. And I felt that all the books that she'd written was almost like I had written them. In fact, I went to the extent of thinking I was Enid Blyton reborn because of the effect of her stories on me. But of course, I realized later on that she passed away after I was born, so I couldn't be Enid Blyton. But anyway, the point is that I felt so connected with her stories, and I knew even at that point, that was at the age of 7, 8, that I knew that one day I was going to write children's stories which would impact others just the way it had impacted me. So that's actually where it started. But of course, along the way, instead of writing children's stories, other things happened, and I started writing adult mysteries, and it just went on from mysteries to whatever another now nonfiction and spiritual and all that. But along the way, I knew that I had to write for children, and this book especially was not really written now. It's one of my first books. It was written as a form of 13 stories sent for Super Junior Times. I don't know if you've heard of this. Maybe Abhay had. Maybe around 25 years ago, there was a paper for children, which was called Super Junior Times. And I had submitted one story each fortnight on Mithu 25 years ago. It was only now that I realized I had to bring the book back. So, but writing for children is certainly different from writing for adults. I agree with you. And but it's far more satisfying, I can tell you that too, because the children are like clean slates. They're like mounds of clay. You can mold them any which way and inculcate the kind of values you want to add to, give them in life. So for me, it's far more satisfying than writing for adults.
You have made 200 programs for the TV,
Yes.
both for children and for young adults. Is this book also going to be future transformed into a movie or a documentary?
I sure hope so. But since you mentioned adults and films and all that, this book is very visual, actually. But the reason why I feel that it could happen one day, it could be turned into a kind of a web series or whatever, is because although the book is targeted at children, the book is meant for all ages. And why am I saying that? Because apparently you see a magical kitten going from place to place and solving issues and meeting different people. But the kind of topics that I have involved in this are pretty adult. They range from range from adolescents to adult. For example, I've talked about class difference, like a couple getting married and then the marriage is not happening because of class difference. I talk about anger issues. I talk about inclusiveness, where there's a very special child, he can't walk, and then I talk about his need to feel needed. It's not that he wants love in his life, he wants to give love. So it's the other way around. So there are such topics in the book which will cater to any adult too. So even if you open any chapter and read it, you may feel that at some level, at some point, it resonates with you. And so that is not very children like. the overall, the surface is for children, but if you delve deeper, there are many messages inside which are for adults as well. So I hope it will be turned into a series one day or something like that.
Sure, 100%. What about peace? How does fiction help us to find peace, especially the mystery fiction that you write?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I sometimes feel that this genre, the mystery genre, literally chose me. Like I said, I started reading Enid Blyton books, then I graduated to Agatha Christie and things like that. But I felt that writing a mystery book requires all your craft. I call it a genre which needs your craft, your craftiness. Craft because you have to be skilled to write a story which will keep the readers in surprise right till the end before the twist happens. And even at that point, the reader should feel, hey, what a great twist, and shouldn't feel bad that he was deceived along the way in many ways. So in that sense, a mystery book requires a lot of your skill and your skills in writing. So that way. And secondly, it is a genre which kind of encompasses other genres within itself. So for example, you can talk about social issues, you can talk about class differences, you can talk about relationships, you can talk about politics, all within the guise of a mystery genre. So for me, it's a complete genre. Now, when I use this genre to kind of answer certain queries that are within you, I think that generates peace. For example, fiction, I feel at some point or the other is an art form which answers some of your questions, which answers some of your needs at certain levels. For example, if you're lonely and you pick up a book and you love it, at some level it resonates with you, and at some level you grasp the contents of the novel and sometimes even apply them to yourself. You learn things from fiction also. So along the way, I think fiction helps you to stabilize emotionally, and in that sense, it does give you peace, I feel.
Thanks, Manjari. There was a book of yours which was adapted for a movie called Kuch Dil Ne Kaha, which was made by NFDC.
Yes.
And I also wrote the dialogues for it. Can you throw some more light on that movie?
Oh, that was long ago, actually, Rohit.
Yeah, but
I hope that there'll be new stories, new movies that you can talk about in the next meeting. But yes, so
sure.
Kuch Dil Ne Kaha was based on an unpublished novel of mine. It was a psychological thriller, but it was an interactive psychological thriller in the sense that when we wrote we converted the book into a script, we kind of constantly interacted with readers to find out what they would think would happen next for the movie. And so we involved a lot of psychology in it. And apart from that, the book is how should I call it? It's not a usual mystery. It is about the story of a girl who goes into a family and suddenly she vanishes and no one talks about it. And 20 years later, the young boy from the house comes back and he gets these feelings of her being around and he starts solving the mystery of the missing girl. And everyone has, like the film Rashomon, everyone has different inputs about the story, which builds this whole image of a girl, a carefree young girl, and of course the mystery of where she vanished and how she vanished. So that was really it, and it was one of the first, let me say, mainstream films that NFDC produced at that point. Till then, they were only doing realistic cinema. So this was one of the first films. It was a fantastic experience. Yes.
What about Cosmic Clues? Another book which was adapted for a movie.
No, it's going to be adapted.
Going to be,
it's
yeah.
Still, yes, not yet adapted.
Can you give some idea about that?
So the Cosmic Clues and its sequel, Stellar Signs, are both books about a lady detective from Pune called Sonia Samarth, who solves cases with the help of astrology. And that's Indian Vedic astrology. And it's a very unique format. And I call it my serialized novel because there are multiple cases happening within the novel, which is like, and there are characters who form, main characters who form the base and foundation of the novel. But actually, there are many characters who come in and go out, and the cases are solved with the help of astrology. So I don't know how many of you believe in astrology, but Indian Vedic astrology is used like an art. It's not like a magic wand used in the book. The horoscopes are used in a very scientific manner. So Sonia Samarth, when she reaches a dead end with her deductive methods, turns to the horoscopes, and from there she finds, it's like an X-ray of a person. From there she finds the right path to solving the crime.
Manjari's mother is a very well-known astrologer in Pune.
Yes, yes. Yeah, she's the one who gave me
Shobha Prabhu.
inputs. Yes, she gave me inputs for the books. In fact, there are actual real horoscopes in the book. So if any astrologer picks up the book, he'll realize that such a person can exist. They're not fake horoscopes. They are horoscopes of real people, so to say.
What are you writing next?
What am I writing next?
Yes.
Actually, I'm working on two books at the same time. One is a nonfiction book called okay, before I say that, I have to tell you that I'm a crazy, crazy dog lover. I mean, I love dogs to the point that I think that they are my gurus. So my next book, which is coming out in May first week, is called The Doctrine of Peace. Not the doctrine, but DOG, Doctrine of Peace. What I'm trying to say through the book is that if, I don't know how many of you are dog lovers here, or if you have dogs in the house, I'm sure some of you have. I feel that there's so much more dogs can give us than what we think they do. They're actually literally angels with paws and a tail, and even if they don't have wings. And through this book, which has multiple interviews also, apart from my own experiences, multiple interviews of international personalities, include scientists and UN peace members and actors and writers and all over the world. There are about 12 interviews plus experiences, real life experiences of people who have associated with dogs, and I'm trying to give a ninefold sutras for finding peace or the path of spirituality through dogs. So this book will be out by April and May first week. And the second book is, of course, an adult mystery novel, which will also be coming out soon.
How do you feel when you are called the Indian Agatha Christie, and now Shashi Tharoor calls you a match for Indian Dan Brown?
Match
That's
for
what
Dan
Shashi
Brown.
Tharoor tells you.
I'm really hugely flattered because Agatha Christie is an icon, and there's no refuting that she is the original queen of crime. She's everything that you know about mysteries already been done by her. All you do is rehash, the techniques by doing it in a different way. But everything, she's just brilliant, and I really look up to her, and I call her also my spirit mentor. So it's a huge compliment to be compared to her. Dan Brown is more a contemporary, although hugely popular and everything. But what I take from this is that my writing has been acknowledged to be as at par with any international author. And honestly, I think these tags were given because there is no Indian equivalent to it. We don't have those huge stature writers, so automatically. And this tag of Agatha Christie was given to me in 2004. Okay, so at that point, obviously there was no one writing mystery in the female genre, in the female category, and I was one of the first ones to write and to be published abroad. So there was no equivalent to compare, so which is why I think it was hugely flattering. But having said that, and although I appreciate it all, I think it's really time that people started calling writers in America and UK the Indian, the American Manjari Prabhu, or the English Manjari Prabhu. I think it's time. I think I'm ready for it.
Yes, I sure say that. You're a pioneer in organizing a Lit Fest in Pune, the Pune International Lit Fest. And now the second Lit Fest you're doing. Can you throw some light on the two festivals you're organizing? Because you take such a lot of efforts.
Yes.
You bring the complete galaxy of Indian writers from India and overseas for the festival, which nobody has dared to do in Pune. And you're doing it not once, twice, but for 7 years in a row, you have been doing it continuously.
Eighth year this
years,
time.
yeah.
Yes, 8 year. Yes, I agree that it's a huge challenge, Rohit. When we started off, to be very honest, I realized that at that point in 2013, I'd written many books, almost 10 books, I think. And I realized that I was never being invited to any Lit Fest. I mean, I found that very strange. I was never invited to any Lit Fest. And I wondered why, and I studied it, and I realized that every Lit Fest, Abhay may agree with me that a Lit Fest has their own especially the big ones have their own cliques. They have their own authors, which keep going there again and again. And you have their celebrities coming in. And there was nothing really done about the authors who were really struggling, the debut authors, the mid-grade authors. People needed to call those two. That was one of the reasons. The second reason was that I realized that Pune is the Oxford of the East and, the seat of education and all that. And we didn't have an English Lit Fest. So along with a colleague and, my other team, we did form the Pune Lit Fest in 2013. But however, it was a mess. It was a mess because there were no sponsors and it was pretty bad. The second year, the team changed. I had to raise the festival from scratch because there were so many things that had to be undone from the first one. But the festival actually took grip from the third year when Vishwakarma Publications joined us as title sponsors. And I think from then onwards, there was no looking back. It's just growing bigger and bigger. And more than bigger, it's a festival with a difference. We do make sure that debut authors are represented in the festival. We make sure all kinds of authors are there. Of course, we need celebrities because they are the ones who bring in the crowds. We have to be honest, authors do not bring in crowds. It's the celebrities who do. So we have to call the occasional celebrity so that the authors are heard. So that's how, and it's growing from strength to strength. But in 2013 as well, we realized that we needed a spiritual stream within the festival, which didn't happen. So we had a couple of sessions. It was 2 years ago that we sat down and really thought about it. And we said, going with what's happening in the country or around you with the stress and the violence and everything, this was the right time to introduce a festival which would help people find their path in life, find direction in life, find some love and peace, amongst them. And that is why the International Festival of Spiritual India for Humanity and Wisdom was started. That was 2 years ago. This is the third year now. We're still looking for sponsors. We don't have the sponsors right now, so we've postponed it. But the whole point of the festival is to help people and provide them with tools to find their path in life. So those are the two festivals. They take a lot of my time. I struggle with funds, but I've not given up. Hopefully I won't give up.
You get so many authors. They come from all over the world. You get, I think, maximum authors from abroad also for the festival.
Yes.
Do you face any problem while keeping them in Pune or hosting them? Or they're all cakewalk?
No way. Authors are never a cakewalk. They have the biggest egos you'll ever find. And they forget that I'm an author too. For them, I'm just an organizer. So they will look at me as an organizer. They don't care whether I write or I don't write. No, actually, it's difficult. Sometimes it's a cakewalk. Some of them are very sweet. But when you get in big authors, big responsibilities come in and big arrangements come in. And you have to be very careful with them. Yeah, I mean, there's lots I can write. I call my festivals my 170 weddings. Literally, it's like I'm the girl. I'm from the girl side. I'm organizing these 170 weddings, and I'm taking all that comes in. But one thing I've learned along the way is to keep cool, keep calm, keep detached. I know it's nothing personal. It's only that every person wants maximum mileage from a festival, wants to be comfortable because they are the stars of literature. So I agree with that. So we like to take care of them. Sometimes there could be ups and downs because our team is very small. But yeah, majority of the times it's not so much of an issue, but sometimes it can get out of hand. Yes.
Members, the floor is open now to questions you can ask.
Yeah, Manjiri, I had a question.
Yes.
You were talking of authors and celebrities.
Yes.
But there are some authors who are celebrities. So would that make a difference? Like Devdutt Patnaik 2019 you had called.
Yes.
And it made a lot of difference, I believe.
Yeah.
So would that be one of the things which would be possible?
Yes, so celebrities also include A-list authors, certainly. And so, yes, of course, Devdutt Patnaik. Actually, it started with Dr. Shashi Tharoor, who came to us in 2016.
Yeah.
And Sudha Murthy was there at the same time. Then in 16, yes, no, in 15, sorry, and in 16, Mr. Narayan Murthy inaugurated the festival. So I think it was, like I said, from the third year itself that the change started when people started recognizing the festival as a national event. Yes. So
Right.
yes, of course, authors were celebrities. Like Shobha Dey is on our advisory board, and whenever she comes, she pulls a crowd. So it's great. I mean, it's great. These authors bring in crowds so that other not so known authors can be heard. That's the whole point.
Right. Thank you.
Anybody else? Please feel free
Yeah,
to ask the
one
questions.
question
Yeah,
from me.
go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
Hi, may I ask a question, please?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
bhai.
Yeah, hi. Manjari, firstly, your book festivals are really you've done something great for the city. It's a jewel in the
Thank you.
crown
Thank you.
of the Queen of the Deccan.
Thank you so much. So
So
sweet.
that's an annual event which Pune looks forward to, and I think this year it's going to be live, perhaps towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, you've been amazingly prolific. So, how do you achieve that? What is the process?
Well, Abhay, thanks for all those compliments. I really will take them because I know that the entire team of PILF deserves it. They work really hard without expectations. As far as prolific is concerned, I think, in Marathi, they say hadachi writer. I'm a hadachi writer, which means that I'm a writer by heart, not by choice, not by accident. I'm writing because it's my oxygen. And if I don't have that oxygen, I won't survive. So no matter whether there are sales or not, whether the books are sold or not, I know that I have to write because it's my form of sharing my world of fiction with the rest of the world. And I have such high imagination that if I don't share it, I'll wallow in it. I'll become a schizophrenic or something like that. So I have to write. I have to write, and that's how it is. I just can't help not writing.
You have to write, I have to sell.
You have to sell, yes, Rohit. You have to do that so that I can keep writing.
Yeah,
Yes.
all the best for this book. I know it's difficult to write for children, so
Yes, yeah.
this is quite an achievement. Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes,
I have
Mr.
a
Ganesh?
question.
Yes.
Dr. Manjari, you have said that writing for the children is more satisfying experience for you
Yes.
over other writing.
Yes.
So, can you explain that why it is so, and what is the benchmark for getting that satisfaction to you?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jalan. Actually, when I say writing for children is satisfactory, what I mean is that when I'm writing for adults, I am free to express myself in my imagination any which way I want. I'm not really thinking of how it's going to affect them, affect the readers. I'm thinking of how the book is going to be in its best creative form. But when I'm writing for children, I feel I have a responsibility. I am responsible for the words that I'm giving out, for the value messages I'm giving out, and because they are our future, and I don't want to contaminate their minds with violence and with things like that. I want to give them a pure, clean entertainment, which is going to, I want them to take away something good from the books. So that becomes a responsibility. And I have to be very careful when I write, even the words that I'm choosing or the topics that I'm choosing, I want to make sure that they are entertained, but entertained in a clean, wholesome way. And that makes a lot of difference, I think.
Thank you.
I hope I've answered your question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anuradha, I hope you are
Yeah.
going. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Manjari, I'm sure you're Maharashtrian, so you must have heard about Bhainabai Chaudhary. Okay. So my question is like this. A completely illiterate woman
Mm.
who did not know Marathi also very well, which are her mother tongue,
Mm.
did come out with a literature which became, a textbook for MA Marathi. So the question is that the language and the creativity or the expression, can they be separated? Does one have to have capability of a language to be able to, I would say, to be able to write? Is my question.
Okay, so it's a great question. I've never really thought of this in this context, but I feel that when a writer writes, I think the first thing that happens, the first draft, so to say, comes from the heart. Comes from your initial planning, and it comes from the heart. So there's no writing, literate in the sense of great writing involved in it. The first draft is almost rubbish when it comes to the kind of quality of writing, but the thoughts that come out are most important. So I guess for somebody who's not literate enough, that draft is important because it comes from the heart, and at that point, depending on what the content is, that book would be important. But for a person who is educated and who how should I say, who is introduced to or exposed to all kinds of books and literature, I think writing good, this first draft combined with quality writing would be dynamite, I think. And I think that is very important because your good expression would come with good writing. I mean, finally, I mean, I can say, I like Varun Bhat, okay, and I can say I find Varun Bhat delicious. Okay, the two they say the same thing, but when you use quality writing, it enhances your thoughts. So I think good writing is important if you're literate, but basically communication is topmost priority, and how you communicate through words or through visuals or just speaking, I think it's all the same.
Yeah, Neeru.
Yes, yeah, hi Neeru.
Today, there is one question and one suggestion.
Yes.
So first question, is your book Mithu is on Kindle?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
it is on Kindle, yes.
Okay, that's very nice. And another one is my suggestion that you have talked about spirituality many times in your talk, today's talk.
Yes.
I wish that an author like you, with your type of capability, you come out with a book which can create interest in the heart of children for our oldest philosophy, that is Veda, Veds. So I want to suggest you to come up with a nice book
on
which can
Vedas.
connect. Yeah.
I will certainly try. I will give this some thought. I will try. I'll have to do a lot of research and study, but I will try. I will certainly try. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you for the suggestion.
Anybody else? Rakesh bhai, do you have any question?
Naik Kanal Sahab, she has been doing a great job. In fact, kids are angels, and if you can please them and you can guide them and give them a right direction, I feel she is doing fabulous job.
Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much. Ruchin bhai, I believe you have some questions.
Not really, Mishra ji. After completing my education, reading books is only a fiction for me. I try to stay away from
Mr. Gupta, but you should read this book because it's a very tiny book. Okay. And, I always give this example, as children, as growing up, we used to always under a bed sheet or something, when the lights were supposed to be switched off, you used to put your a comic book or something inside a textbook, right? And pretend that you're studying or whatever. Well, this is exactly the opposite. This is like putting a textbook inside a comic book.
Yes, I understand, Dr. Prabhu. I have a teenage daughter also, and when I was listening to you, I thought I'll get a copy of it. And as you rightly mentioned, I don't know, it's suitable for all age groups. So I definitely look forward to reading it.
Yes, it is suitable for all age groups, and I'm sure your teenage daughter will gain something out of it. I'm pretty confident of that. Yeah.
संदीप भाई बहुत शांत बैठे हुए हैं, लेकिन क्वेश्चन आपके पास है, मुझे पता है, तो प्लीज ओवर टू यू.
Audio.
You are muted. Yeah, unmute yourself. Yes.
Yes.
कन्ना साहब, मेरा तो सिमिलर सिचुएशन है वो रुचिन जैसा. मैडम तो 17-18 बुक लिख चुकी है. मैं 17-18 पेज पढ़ने का मेरा चैलेंज होता है आजकल. वो with this YouTube and everything.
I know
that and audiobooks particularly, because you can read or you can listen to those books while you are doing something else, for example driving. But when you have to read a physical book, even on a Kindle, I mean, you need time, you need dedicated time for that. So either you are committed to doing it as a purpose, I have to read so many books, or you are motivated from inside to do that. Unfortunately, I'm none of the two, but I like to gain knowledge. I like to get opinions from others. I like to hear other people out. But the way I do it is by these other means of communication these days. So I'm sure audio version of your book is probably
Yeah,
also come
would
out sometime.
soon. Yeah, but first we try to sell the paperback.
So
For people like you who are not into reading right now, into physical paperbacks, we want to convince you to take this book and start somewhere or start again. Start again.
no,
Okay.
madam, behind that, Rohit's strategy must be there. He says, okay, first you print paper. So we will sell paper copies. Then we will sell on Kindle. And then
Yes.
we will sell a PDF version. And then we will sell a audio version. So 4 times you will sell the same book.
Great, great. Good strategy, Rohit. Very good strategy.
Anybody else? Murtaza, would you like to ask a question? Yeah.
No, sir. I'm reading law books for 10 to 11 hours a day. I don't normally get time to read books. But I will buy this one for my daughter on the Kindle.
Great.
That's great. Deepak bhai?
Ruchin has a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Ruchin has already asked
is
the question. Yeah.
No, he wanted
no,
to
no,
Okay,
can I
okay.
ask
Sure,
one
sure,
more?
sure. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
Is this available on Amazon or digitally, or only the paper copy is available?
No, so on Amazon also it's available.
Okay.
On Amazon.in as well as .com.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, so online it's
I'll-
available. Yeah, sure.
Great.
दीपक भाई, आज तो आपको सुनना है. आज आपको, हाँ, आपकी मुस्कुराहट के पीछे कोई न कोई क्वेश्चन जरूर है. Unmute
Please
करिए.
unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Deepak, तू muted है.
Deepak, you are muted.
Yeah.
I don't read, but I'll buy for my elder son. He is very much into reading all the books.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
That's great. Anybody from participants? Sonal? No?
So if this is live on Facebook, there may be some comments there, I think, probably.
Yeah. Sumana?
So
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Sir, may I make a comment?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
sure.
Yeah. Hi, Manjari, you spoke about your love for dog.
Yeah.
And I wanted to mention to you and to others that my father had told me once that he had read it somewhere that it is dogs who civilize man.
Oh, wow.
You know,
That's
with their extraordinary friendship, love, and loyalty,
Yes.
it is they who really civilized man. Now, if you come across this reference somewhere, and if you can bring it in your
Yeah, sure.
somewhere,
Yes, of course.
you know, it would be very valuable.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. It's a very good take on it, and I will definitely use it for sure. Thank you
And
so
even
much.
if you write it as a fiction, it would stand. I think it would hold.
Yes, yes, of course. But it's completely non-fiction. So I'm going to give you a copy of it. You have to read it because it's a different book and I've got really good interviews of really good people in it.
No, I'll
So-
buy your book and I'll take your autograph.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know. I just want to, somebody said, because you're not reading, do I have time to share a small story?
Yeah, 5 minutes, you can go ahead.
Okay. So I know you just spoke about not reading paperbacks. You know, I know most of you think that this is just a book, that it's my 17th book and it's got a number on it, but it's actually my 17th baby. And let me tell you something, that authors and books, especially with me, there's always been a special soul connection. And I'm going to narrate a small incident. Some years ago, when the Cosmic Clues came out, one of my friends came here from Bombay and took a signed copy from me, okay, saying, you know, we are friends and whatever. It was nice, and I was happy to give him a signed copy. About 2-3 years down the line, when the copies were going out to the market, I told my sister, she goes to High Court quite often. I said, let's just go to, in the fountain area. I know most of you know that there are people who sit with piles of books for sale. So I said, I want to go there and check out if there are any old copies of the Cosmic Clues. I'd like to take them from there. I don't want them to be, in the Raddi and this and that. I don't know what made me say that, but I just said that. And a couple of days I kept feeling I had to go to Bombay to look for a copy. I had to go to Bombay to look for a copy. And then when she was going, I went with her. As soon as she finished her work, I said, just let's go across. And so this whole pavement has this line of vendors sitting with thousands of books, they sit piled. Across the street, I told my sister, let's go to that one. There was one vendor, which almost like it was a beam, I didn't look at the other multiple vendors. I just looked at that one vendor and I said, let's go to that one. She said, oh, त्याच्याकडे जाऊया, बरं ठीक आहे, and so we went up to him. And there was this piles and piles of books, hundreds of books. And my eyes again beamed into one book at the bottom of one pile. And I said, remove that book, please. He said, do you want it? बहुत काम है, आपको चाहिए तो ही निकालूंगा, वगैरह वगैरह. I said, आप निकालो तो सही. And he removed that book, and you won't believe it, it was the Cosmic Clues. And my heart was literally beating because I knew that I had come here just to pick this book up. So I flicked open the pages, and there was this note that I had given to this friend of mine. And I said, oh my God, it was like, this is what I mean when I say that this book was calling out to me for the last 3-4 days. I went all the way from Pune to Bombay, from Bombay to High Court, from High Court to Fountain area, to the Fountain, whatever, that area, from there to that vendor, from the vendor to that pile, from that pile I picked up without seeing the title of the book. I just picked it up because that book had been calling out to me. And I don't know if even any child would give any parent this kind of an indication that I need you and I want you to come and get me. It was the most bizarre experience of my life. And I knew at that point that these are not just mere books. I know people look at them for sales and I'm here to promote my book. And it's not just that. It's a piece of my heart and it's there for you to read or not read. It's up to you. But for writers, books have a really deep soul connection.
Can I have a question here, please?
Yes. Yeah, please go ahead.
Dr. Manjari, what made you to think that your book should not be there in Raddi? Because it gives an opportunity to reach to another reader who is not willing to pay for the book, but wants to reach out to your writing. So rather you should see it positive and should get heartened that your book is sale in a pile of books in Raddi also, and it can reach to larger number of people who want to reach to your writings.
Thank you, Mr. Jalan. But I sometimes feel that the books that go into Raddi are usually torn and used to wrap up things, probably not to be read. If they're being read and I'm unaware of it, well, I'm corrected. I stand corrected. But I think they're mostly, torn and used in something else. And what I meant with this book was that it was a book that I had gifted with a lot of love to this person. And I didn't expect that book to land in Raddi. I expected it to be kept. That's what author copies are. I mean, you sign an author copy. You might not, if you finish reading it, you might hand it over to someone else to be read, which is the more mature and the more, the ethical way or the more dignified way of doing it, instead of selling it or just throwing it away. And that is what hurt more. And that is what that book was trying to tell me, that I'm neglected and I've been thrown away. Please come and get me. That's what the book said. Actually, even in my house, I don't know where I've kept the book. My whole responsibility was to go and fetch the book from there, which is what I did.
Thank you.
Great. Anybody else? So if there is no question, I must congratulate Dr. Manjari. It is very nice session and it's amazing. In fact, a lot of take is there from your talk. And we all are very happy that you used Rotary Club Pune Riverside to launch your book.
Yes.
So once again, congratulating you and wishing you all the best for your next books and your that small movies also. That you always create that. Yeah. So not taking much time, I would like to invite Lieutenant Anuradha Mungi for formal vote of thanks. So over to Anuradha ji.
Dr. Manjari Prabhu, I had really not thought that today we have in India with us the authors which are of completely international standards. And, you know, we all talk about J.K. Rowling, and we all talk about mystery books written by her, Harry Potter. But often I think we neglect to realize that we have our own very good people like you know, who are also writing and whose work is as much worth as these foreign writers. Another thing that strikes me extremely impressive is that one can actually write for children as well as adults. How can a topic be interest to both? I mean, we have difficulty dealing with our children because we are not on the same wavelength. Okay, most of us have a problem parenting. So somebody could write books which can interest is very amazing. The subjects that we talked about, spirituality, astrology, mystery, animals, I have not heard of any author, you know, who writes on a varied subjects, because probably it requires a mastery of the subjects also to be able to write. And your ability to write on various subjects is amazing, I would say. And I wish one day you will get a Booker Prize.
Thank you.
And you will be inspiration to would-be writers or could-be writers. You know, people are afraid to write because they believe nobody will like their writing. You know, one of the biggest problem in writing is that a feeling of rejection, which I feel that you will probably be able to remove from the minds of children. One of the most important issues today that concerns our children are not in the school, and that causes a lot of stress, anxiety, what to do, and most important thing is that they're doing the things they should not be doing. Okay, so reading your books could be one of the solutions to the problem of children today and the problem of the parents today. Okay, so I think that timing is very right for Dr. Manjari's Prabhu's writing, and it could solve a lot of problems. And I have two suggestions, you know.
Yeah, Anuradha. I think she is disconnected. Anuradha, are you there?
No, she's.
Yeah, she is disconnected.
No
yes.
link, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Dr. Manjari, this Thought of the Week is a great tradition of Rotary Club Pune Riverside. I believe you must have heard in your last two meetings also. So for doing that honor, I would like to invite the Rotarian Sanjay Merchant, Director, Club Admin. Over to Sanjay ji.
Yeah, thank you, Colonel sir. Manjari ji was talking about magic. So I feel that hope is the greatest magic. So never stop hoping because it will always work.
Great. It's a really great. Thank you, Sanjay bhai.
Lovely.
Yeah. Like Thought of the Week. We also have morning tonic. We must say it is morning tonic, and that is cracking the joke, and that is mostly done by our honorable advisory board member, Rotarian Sandeep Basji. So over to Sandeep ji for cracking a joke, which is we are going to take it a tonic for the day. So over to Sandeep.
Thank you, Colonel sir. Good morning, everybody. ये मेरे को शायद जोक्स हिंदी में सुनाने में ज्यादा अच्छा लगेगा. आई होप एवरीबॉडी अंडरस्टैंड्स हिंदी.
यस.
तो एक रामू था एक गांव में, और बेचारे की हालत बहुत खराब थी फाइनेंशियली. तो पहले पनवाड़ी का उस पे लेनदारी हो गई, लोन हो गया. फिर उसके बाद जो है सब्जी वाले का लोन हो गया, उसके बाद दूध वाले का लोन हो गया, और साल 1.5 साल लोगों के लोन चले. इतने में क्या हुआ, उसकी एक लॉटरी लग गई और ये आदमी करोड़पति हो गया. तो ये सब लोग खुश हो गए कि भाई फाइनली पैसे मिल जाएंगे। लेकिन 2-3 महीने बीत गए और रामू ने किसी के पैसे वापस ही नहीं किए। तो ये बोले भाई जाके पूछना चाहिए कि अब तो पैसे आ गए, तो पैसे वापस कर दो। तो गए रामू के पास, आया रामू बाहर, बोला भाई क्या बात है? कि देखो भाई ऐसा है कि तुम्हारे पास पैसे नहीं थे, हमने तुम्हें बहुत हेल्प करी, अब तो पैसे आ गए, पैसे तो भर दो। तो बोलो भाई पैसे तो मैं भर देता, लेकिन मैं ये नहीं चाहता कल को लोग ये बोले कि जब रामू के पास पैसे आ गए ना, वो बदल गया है।
Great. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, Dr. Manjari, and all the guests, particularly Dr. Manjari. It was indeed very nice, very interesting. And we will look forward in future also to connect you. And I will strongly recommend what Sandeep Bhai has said. So going, on digital form, that will make, I think, word is moving towards that. Yes. But physical form, this book cannot replace. It's like a letter. When you write a letter to someone, it's you take a letter in your hand. I remember when I used to get a letter of my mother, I used to first see the face of my mother on that letter, and I used to presume that she is going to speak something, and then I used to read that letter, and I got all feelings. Same way, books cannot be replaced with any digital platform and all those things. When you read the book, you have the different, but with the change of time, it would be nice to moving on that. So thank you very much for connecting. Thank you to all the esteemed members who have joined today morning, and thank you to the guests who have joined this meeting. So not taking much time now, I need your permission, Dr. Manjari, to end this meeting. So if permission is there, I will end. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Namaskar, and see you soon with your next book, which you have said. So thank you very much.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a real pleasure. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you. Jai Hind to everyone.